Ah, yes, Legendary Island, home of dreams being crushed and Weibels haunting your nightmares. Today I'm going to review it because I'm pretty sure I know what I'm talking about. And look at this. I'm gonna just subtly flex on you. Why, please don't bully me. So first, you enter this room when you get your ticket, and apparently this TP is broken right now, so once you go in, there's no getting back out unless you have a scroll and or slash kill. So now you're going to go into the first boss, aka Mummy Board, which is literally just a mummy board. I don't know where I was actually going to go with that one. But you see, all you have to do to beat Mummy Board is not get hit by Flamethrower, which is definitely what I'm doing right now. And you also have to watch out for the fact that he's a ranged mob, and that's pretty much all there is to him. I mean, if you somehow lose to this thing, unless you're doing a challenge build, there's gonna be issues that need to be discussed. And there we go, there goes Mummy Board. I suggest bringing a water weapon, because if you don't get to abuse his very easy abusable weakness. So you should probably do that. Next up, we have Virus Doctor, aka Swarm Simulator. He has one main goal in life, and that is to swarm you with so many swarms to the point where you're swarmed. That was a great analysis right there. He's also got Teleport and is a ranged mob, as well as having a bunch of slowness just to annoy you even more. So don't worry, your main goal in trying to actually defeat him is burst him as quick as you can. Burst him down as quick as you can in order to actually defeat him, because the longer he is alive, the longer you give for the swarms to start swarming you repeatedly, because it's a swarm. Oh, he also gives you weakness, which I actually don't see much of a difference with my damage output, but you know what? I'm gonna pretend like it does something for him. Next up, you have Corcus Recipientis. In the first phase, has such a huge hitbox I can literally just run up to him and hit every single arrow with no consequences. He's also got no knockback, which makes that even more abusable. Now we're on the Elf phase, and the Elf phase is probably the most annoying out of all the phases. Reason? All he knows how to do is teleport and heal, and occasionally chuck a giant rock at your forehead, aka Meteor. The only problem with this is, it's so easy to kill him anyway without a challenge build, to the point where you can just do what I just did. This phase just has charge and multi-hit, and occasionally will pull you towards him in order to try and actually hit those things, but he can't because he's bad at this game. Then you've got this robot thing who just runs in a straight line at you in hopes that it accomplishes something. And now you've got the magma cube in a second here. I thought I killed it. I didn't because I'm smart. Come on. Kill. There we go. Nope, please don't pull me all the way over here. And now you've got the magma cube, and originally it was a tiny magma cube, so have fun actually hitting that thing as an archer. But now it's a bigger magma cube, so I can just do this and win. Now you're up against Trojan Idol, and this first phase has the dreaded Flamethrower. The only problem for him is I'm an archer, so I can literally just do this and I win at life. It's actually kind of fun. Now we've got this phase, who I actually forget what he does, but in my opinion, he is just a wall. Also, this thing has 10 phases for some unknown reason. We went from 2 phases to 5 phases to 10. Why and where and why and how and who and every single other question word. And now you've got the baby, and to be honest, the baby is probably the hardest phase out of all the phases. I mean, just look at this baby. He's got heal, he's got teleport, he's got charge. I mean, you can't go wrong with this baby. He's legit got everything at his disposal. Regardless, there we go. And now I'm going on to the hardest boss of them all. Oh, what? Oh yeah, the Aya bot or something. I'm gonna just go up here and go back to sleep. Also, I hope you brought a neutral weapon, otherwise you're gonna have to punch this guy to death like that. Regardless, there you go, that was Yayabot. He's got the power of mushrooms and drugs, question mark, on his side. Now we're going up against the one, the only, the Death Metal. And Death Metal honestly isn't hard at all. His minions, on the other hand, such as Chain Beast, promise to charge spam you into oblivion to the point where there is no hope left of coming back. Oh, and also, Death Metal's second phase has Burst Fire, which immediately makes him one of the most annoying bosses in the entire game. There we go. There goes Death Metal and his charge spamming minions. Now, you're going up against probably one of the hardest bosses in all of Legendary Island. This fast boy. Look at how fast he is. He's just such a fast boy. You ever just see him run at you and you're like, that's a pretty fast boy? Because guess what? He's a really, really fast boy. But in all seriousness, this boss, why is he the 7th boss? He's probably the 3rd. If we're going on a scale from easiest to hardest bosses in LI, he's probably the 3rd boss that should be there. In fact, no, he's probably actually, I'd be willing to argue that this boss is legit the easiest boss in Legendary Island. Why is he here at gold? There we go. That was riveting right there. I was shaking in my boots. Now, if you were surprised that Corruptor of Worlds was in here, now you're up against Robo-Bob. And honestly, the only hard part about Robo-Bob is the fact that the Water Sword exists. And if the Water Sword exists, that means there's only one ranged mob in this entire fight. And that's the Water Sword. So what you want to do is you want to kill the Water Sword every time it spawns, and then you're home free. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Bob also has Charge, Flamethrower, multi-hit, and Slow, which immediately also makes him one of the most annoying bosses in the entire game. Now, it is time to go up against your worst nightmare. The second to last boss of Legendary Island. The one, the only... Wait, hold up, it's Weibo? Why is this stupid orange cube the second to last boss? Why? You could have picked something more menacing, but you had to... Oh god, okay. Right, I regret coming in here. I have regrets. Yeah, I really wish I was joking when I said this boss requires more luck than it does actual skill, because Cybele over here, whenever he feels like he can just yeet you out of existence with one spell, it just depends on how he's feeling. There's also the Disintegrator cores, and they have pool spell, so if you get pulled into them too much, you're going to get one hit, because they have 1 to 5,000 thunder and fire damage, which is questionable. But to be honest, these two phases, the first and third phase, aren't actually that bad. It's just the fact that I have to rely completely on RNG for the second and fourth and fifth phases in order to actually win, because during this phase you're not supposed to fight him, he's supposed to explode, yet sometimes he takes a good 8 minutes to actually explode. So I'll be stuck in here with this little orange fluff ball chasing me around in hopes that he detonates himself. There's also the fact that if you're lagging, you've pretty much got a guaranteed chance to lose. And also, these things aren't that bad as an archer because bomb spell exists, so I can just go sit in a corner and spam the heck out of them. But you know what? That's fine. See, now he's exploding, and that nearly hit me and I almost died. That's just going to show how RNG heavy this thing is. Now you've finally managed to get through Cybele, and he will haunt you in your dreams for the rest of your life as you ponder where you went wrong when you tried fighting him. And now you're actually at the final boss, aka Dr. Legendary. And let me give you a very, very good description of Dr. Legendary's fight. Flamethrower, 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 flamethrower. That's all there is to his first phase. I will say though, I find Dr. Legendary actually to be harder than Cybele if you completely ignore the fact that you have to rely completely on RNG for if you win against Cybele or not. But besides that, he's actually a fair fight despite his flamethrower spam. He's got so many spells at his disposal to the point where you actually have to try in order to defeat him. The only thing I have against Dr. Legendary is that sometimes he spams push spell, so sometimes he'll just decide to literally push you across the entire arena whenever he feels like it. But there we go, there you have it, Legendary Island, and now I get my rewards, and now I can go complain to YY about doing spider build. P.S. YY, where is the spider build? I need it in my life.